good afternoon and welcome to Tuesdays with Annette. That's right, it's Home Ec with Annette. It's our cooking class and I hope you've been to the website simply2good.com.au, downloaded the recipe for today, which is from book 7 in the gluten-free section. That's right, we're doing Symple Brownies. I'm so excited. It's such a cool recipe and so much healthier than the traditional brownies. And who doesn't love a bit of chocolate in their world? So this is what we're going to make today. So if you've got this book or you've got, go to the website, download. I hope you've already prepared and you've got your stuff, but let's go over last week's show before we get into the brownies. We did the cauliflower fried rice, and thank you for the people that put their photos up, because 3 of those fabulous ladies have won their own cookbook, personally signed by the author. Who's that? Me. All right, so Pam Gordon, very excited. Kim Lane and Lisa West all won a cookbook from last week's show. All they did was they liked, they shared, and they put a photo up. So I'm expecting to see lots of brownie photos this week and have lots to choose from for the winners. Now, what I want to do first is wash our hands, because that's what we do on the Tuesday show. So let's go to our sink. I've got my my fabulous doTERRA, and you do the 20-second thing, remember. We still want to keep our good habits going. And this is what I always think is really good before you ever start cooking, because heaven forbid we make our family sick. We wouldn't want to do that. But you'd be surprised how the little things at home get ignored and can actually be quite germ-based. All right, so my hands are clean and fabulous. And now let's go over the props we need, and then we'll look at the ingredients for this recipe. So I've got my bowl to make my brownies in, and I've got my electric beater. I've also got a wooden spoon because I need to be a bit of a stirrer here. I've got a scraper because I want everything out of the bowl. I've got scissors because I'm going to show you how to do the, what's it called, the baking paper, which goes on the base of the cake. So we've got that. I've got a spoon because we need that. And I've got some cups to measure everything. I've got a glass and I've got plastic. And the glass one is to do in the microwave because I like to use glass in there. But whatever you've got will work. Okay, and I've got a chopping board because I need to chop some walnuts. My oven is preheated to 180 degrees fan forced. And I think, oh yes, and we need the cake tin. There's my cake tin. It's a square cake tin. So it works out to be a 20 centimetre. If you wanted to measure the base, it's 20 centimetres. And there's the baking paper. And of course we'll need cooking spray. So let's look at the ingredients first. Now remember, it's Symple Brownies from the gluten-free section in book 7. So we start with, we'll need 60 grams of Floralite margarine, and we're going to melt that, and we'll do that in a minute. I've got 4 egg whites. Now if you're worried about the egg whites, you know, like because you're not going to use the yolk, then this is what I suggest you do. You get the egg white mix. You buy this. It's normally in the fridge section in the supermarket. Now, what I like about this is it just saves waste, but I tend to just go with eggs. But if you want to save, it's 36 grams for 1 egg white. So I'll repeat that. It's 36 grams for 1 egg white, and we need 4 for this recipe. So 36 times 4, you work it out. All right, so that's just a tip. Okay, so we've got the 4 egg whites, or you're going to measure it. We need ½ a cup of the cocoa, and I really love the Plaistow brand, and I'll show you why in a minute. We're going to need 1/3 a cup of skim milk. What have we got here? We've got walnuts. Now we need 1/4 a cup, and I'm going to have to chop them, so I hope you've got a knife ready as well. We need knives. I've got my sifter too, which is something we need as a prop, you know, to help make it. And I've got my hazelnut meal and my gluten-free icing. And this is what I use just to want to show you, because if you are really wanting it to be gluten-free, you might presume that all icing sugar is gluten-free, but it's not. So here in the corner, there's a little round circle that says gluten-free. So when you're buying icing sugar, always make sure you find that, and that is the one to work with. All right, I think we're good to go. I've got my scales here because I'm going to measure the butter first. So margarine, I should say, Buddha butter. All right, so let's move my bowl just over here, and I'm going to just put my glass on here. Now, you can either measure it as 4 tablespoons, you know what I mean? But I like it easy because, you know, the thing is, easy is my way to go, and I like to just measure it like this. I want 60 grams, okay? But if you are measuring at home with your tablespoons, can you just remember this is 15 mils, not 20 when you use my recipes. So for example, if you're using 4 tablespoons of the bigger one, which is the Australian standard at 20, you're adding 4 more teaspoons of margarine in, and it won't work as well. It'll be too wet. So there's the margarine. I'm going to put a bit of cling on it, and I'm going to put it in the microwave, and we can start cooking everything else, prepping everything else while this is melting. I'm going to put it on a 70% because I like to, you know, do it a bit slower. 7, and I'm going to do it for 30 seconds. My oven's lovely and hot because you want to preheat so that when we put the brownies in, the oven is at that temperature. All right, so let's get started. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure everything out first because you know that's how I like to do things. Get it all out and ready to go. So there's my eggs. The margarine's done. So in my sifter, now you can use those the sifters you use for straining rice or whatever, like you know how you do the round ones. I've got my old-fashioned one, but I tend to push it through myself anyway. So what I'm going to do in here first is I'm going to measure a cup of the icing sugar. Ooh, get back there. All right, so we want a cup. So are you measuring with me now? You may have already done it ahead, and that's not a silly idea. If you wanted to be prepared for the cooking class, is to get everything up and out on display ready for the class. Otherwise, we can just do it together. It's no problem. It's really important when you ever use icing sugar, please sift it, because otherwise you're going to get lumps of it in the mix, and that's not ideal. All right, actually I might leave that lid off because I'm going to use the icing sugar later. All right, so now I've got that. Put it in your sifter. I put a plate underneath because I don't want to lose it. If you know, you want to have it there ready. Now we're going to use the fabulous place dough. We want 1/2 a cup. Right now, why do I say this brand? Because they're not paying me to say it. It's because it's fabulous. Now, Diane got me onto this a while back and said to me, have you tried it? So when I did, I was instantly in love with it because it's dark, decadent, and rich. And who doesn't want that when you're talking chocolate brownies? So, worth buying. So we want 1/2 a cup and sifted as well. It's like the icing sugar. You do not want to put that into a recipe without sifting it because there's lumps in there. Now, if you just joined me, hello, we're doing Simple Brownies in the Home Ec with Annette class. Now, what do we do next? We need to measure the hazelnuts. Now, we want a cup of hazelnuts. See, I just want to get it all out and ready. And now, the thing is, if you're saying, oh, like one lady said, I'm in a small town, I can't get hazelnut meal anywhere. Well, let me give you a couple of suggestions, okay? So what you can do is you could buy the hazelnuts, you know, which you'll probably easily get the nuts, and then actually process it yourself and grind it up until it becomes, you know, like just very light, like that looks. See how it's just like, it looks like very fine breadcrumbs. Now, if you wanted to know what 1 cup of hazelnut measures, it's 100 grams. So you're doing 100 grams of nuts. The other option is you can use almond meal, which is normally much easier to find. So if you want to do that, you can. It's just a little bit lighter of the mix, but it would still work. Alrighty, so there's a couple of tips. And we now want 1/4 cup of walnuts. So let's just chop them up. I think that's probably too many, but I'll just go with it now. Now, I've got to tell you, walnuts are really healthy, but hazelnuts are just such a good nut. Who knew that nuts were so healthy? Of course we all did. But did you know that hazelnuts are a great source of fibre, as walnuts are? They're also protecting against cell damage, which I like that as well, because you know we want to look after our cells. It lowers cholesterol, love that, and it improves insulin sensitivity. So for people that are diabetic, that's really a good thing to have as well. And as well, it supports heart health. And I kind of feel our heart is important. Yes, it is. So that's the benefits of having hazelnuts in your diet. Now, if you've just joined me, you're missing out because I've already started making the Symple Brownies. Now, you can get the recipe from the website every Tuesday class. I think that's going to look good. You will be able to download the recipe just in case you don't have this book. Now, it is a gluten-free recipe. I've never made it with normal, well, actually, there's no flour in this one, so it is what it is. Gosh, I'm making a mess here. So put your walnuts, chop them up. We want 1/4 cup. Let's have a look here. That looks pretty good, actually, if I just put that in. Now, you don't have to put walnuts in the brownies, but I like the texture of it, and I think it works really well. I just think it just adds to it. All right, so let's clean off this, and we're going to start cooking. So get everything ready to start making your Symple Brownies. All right, so first of all, we're going to beat the egg whites because everything's ready now, yes? We're all good to go. So I've got my hazelnut meal, I've got my walnuts, I've got my icing sugar and cocoa in my sifter. I just need to pour 1/3 cup of milk. Let's do that. And get my margarine out of the microwave. Let's do that. And what we do is pour that in to the milk, because that will just cool that margarine down that's been cooking in the, I'll leave my spoon in there. All right. I mean, how easy is this recipe? It'd be a great one to get the kids making because there's really no great skill involved, and it's a great way to get them excited about learning how to cook. So we're going to do 4 egg whites. Oh, Diane is waving to me. Yes, Diane.
We need to wish Diane Kozak happy birthday for today, and her husband's going to make these brownies for
So
her.
Diane
Kozak,
happy birthday, sweetie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Diane. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Oh my God, did you know? Yes, I can sing. And her husband's going to make these for her for a birthday. He's a keeper, Diane. Fantastic. All right, so 4 egg whites. So looking at how have I been able to make this so much healthier than the traditional brownie is straight away an egg yolk is 6 grams of fat. So boom, there's 24 grams of fat not going on my thighs. Thank you very much. I've used the low-fat margarine, the low-fat milk, and it really, so what we do now is beat this up. Let me turn it on. For about 2 minutes. And what I love about this recipe is it's 1/3. Let me repeat that. 1/3 of the fat and calories of a traditional brownie. So this is called Healthy Guilt-Free Brownie. And if you want to make it dairy-free, then you use almond milk and the dairy-free margarine, and you're covered for that as well. All right. So we do that for a couple of minutes, nearly done. Are you keeping up with me? Because you should be beating your egg whites now. Diane, what's that? I can't hear. Sorry.
What size are the eggs?
The eggs are the 70, 60, 70. Yeah, just normal eggs. Good question. Now, mix the milk and the margarine. You've got that ready. And into the mix. Beat that up. Oh, I've got to turn this, it's broken. That's it. I need to get myself an egg beater, a new one. Right, now what we do is sift in the icing sugar and the cocoa. How hard is this? I know, but you know what? It's easy to eat it, and it's suitable to be frozen. So if you're worried about the 16 serves you get and you think, oh my gosh, it's going to tempt me to want to eat it all, then just cut them into the slices, and I'll show you at the end how to get your 16 slices as well. Because this is our, cooking class. I want to show you as much as I can. The idea is that you can cling wrap and freeze for quite a while. This will freeze really well. And there, see that little bit? We want that in. There we go. And now what we do is we're going to just beat that on low speed. Just be careful with the cocoa, it doesn't flip everywhere. Just beat that till it's combined. You can see the rich chocolate colour coming up now. Thank you, Play-Stow Cocoa. Oh yeah, all right. So put your beater aside now. And all we've got to do is put in the hazelnut meal and the walnuts. Wooden spoon. And now just mix that together and we are done. I know this is one of those recipes that is so easy. It doesn't have any flour in it. It's just the hazelnut meal is what holds it together. Look at that. I mean, how good is this? I know, and you're going to be so clever. Everyone's going to think you're an amazing cook. All right, so let's look at doing the baking paper. So, how you do it, fold it over into 4, and then I look at it and say, well, that's halfway, press it in, get my trusty scissors, and then go in, because you don't have to go all the way to the edges. Spray the base and the edges, and then let's hope this fits. Let's do it that way. There you go. Here we go. Now, this is because we don't want it to stick. No, we do not like cakes that stick. That's for sure. But this particular recipe is good to have that with. All right, so now what we do is pour into the square dish. The idea of the square is because I want to cut 16 serves, because brownies should be square shaped. They're not triangle. Well, I don't think they are anyway. So are you up to me? All right, there we go. Now what I want you to do is just push that out to the edges. Make sure it's all even. And we are good to go in the oven. Remember, it's 180 degrees fan forced. Now, in the recipe, it says to do it for 40 to 45 minutes, but I find in my oven, I do it for 35. So can you just make a note on that? If you've got the recipe, maybe put 35 on it now, and then check it at 35. When you touch it in the middle, if it's, feels firm, then you're done. And bring it out. Let it rest for a few minutes and then tip it out. Now let me get rid of this, because here is the finished product. There it is. because I made one beforehand because I knew you'd want to see what it looks like. And I want to put it on my fabulous display stand. I've got a little sifter here as well because I'm going to put some icing sugar on because people like that with brownies. Now, where's my red knife? Okay, sharp knife. And I'm going to show you now how to cut it into 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look here and I'm going to go look at half of it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is cut that in half, and same with this half. You might want to clean your knife. I just don't want to put that in my mouth. And then go half down the middle, and then each half you cut in half. Very simple. So now what you do is we make it pretty and we put it on the stand. Oh my gosh, it looks so delicious, doesn't it? So this is your Symple Brownies, gluten-free. Just put it out for everyone to enjoy. Boom, you're done. How good is that? Now, if you want to make it a little bit fizzy, then just get a little bit of icing sugar. Now, remember, it's suitable to be frozen. It's 8.2 grams of fat a slice, but only 124 calories. I know. So here we go. There you go. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy, people? Symple Brownies, gluten-free. Boom. If you would like to win the book, this is it. Number 7, all you got to do is like, share, and more importantly, you have to post your picture of your brownies in the comments, and I will pick 3 fabulous people to win the book and personally signed. So thanks for joining me today. I've really enjoyed cooking this for you, but now on Thursday, please come back because on Thursday I'm making sweet teriyaki beef. And I'm going to do a twist on it for you. And that's out of book 7. I want you to watch me on that one because it's super easy as well. Now on Tuesday's show next week, I'm doing a super easy recipe that is fizzy fabulous. It's out of book 1 and it's garlic prawns. Who doesn't love a feed of garlic prawns done the guilt-free way? But before I go, remember to check out my website, simplytoogood.com.au. There's the free information there, there's recipes. Get the recipe for next week on there, which is the garlic prawns. But also don't forget, the Winter Warm ebook is still available right now. It's got lots of tips and recipes, and I really think that you'll benefit from this time. I think we've been in lockdown a while as well, so our weight issues may be concerning us. It's a good one to start with. But also, please note that I'm going to be starting a new challenge in my mentoring program coming soon. So there'll be more on that as we go. But if you're thinking about joining me in the program, now's the time to do it. As I said, check out the website, more information. Well, hello, afternoon tea. We're all excited at Simply Too Good headquarters for Symple Brownies. Hope yours look great too. Look forward to seeing the photos. See you Thursday.